Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat. We have a big football episode. If you can tell by Dee's, yell, we're fresh off of a full day of football.
Let's go Rams! Let's go Rams!
Let's go Bengals! Joe Burrow. I'm a big Joe Burrow guy. I'm a big Joe Bengal guy. His diamonds are real, and we're going to talk about it.
I bet you could probably get to Joe Burrow's. I'm sure he was a fan growing up.
There's a chance. Maybe I'll send him a DM and say, hey, man, from one Ohio guy to another.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Let's do a Joe Burrow's TikTok, like a dedication from you to him. Like, let's dress you up with him with the chain.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
It's me, Chris. Just kidding.
Welcome to the male event club.
I was once a kid in Ohio who also made it to the big leagues. Good luck out there on Sunday. Send me a DM. Okay. Yeah, I think Joe should be my friend. And hopefully after he wins the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, we'll make that happen.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about football, all things football. We have a big, another big week of earnings coming up, which we should definitely talk about. And we got to talk about Joe Rogan again. I mean, Joe Rogan is still in the news now. The Prince and the Duchess and the Sussex and the Russecks, everyone's involved.
They've been putting out too much content on Spotify, so they had to get involved.
Yeah. So we got to talk about that. And then we have just a bunch of random news stories as well to get you set up for your week. Are we ready?
We are ready.
Let's do it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
The football Sunday.
Whoa!
So I purposely watched the games and I checked your Twitter to see what your predictions were. You predicted Kansas City Rams.
Yes.
So how do you feel? Do you feel like...
No. I predicted Jackson Mahomes and Rams.
So
I wanted Jackson Mahomes in the Super Bowl because I thought it would be really funny.
So do you still consider him a winner? You still consider yourself right?
Yeah, I mean, Jackson Mahomes is going to be in LA during Super Bowl weekend. I have no doubt about that. Jackson Mahomes is going to Super Bowl.
Do you think the wind got taken out of Jackson's sails, or do you think he's at Super Bowl like nothing happened?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it affects his daily routine.
You don't think? I feel like that's his whole... He just rides that train around town.
I put that aside for a second.
Okay.
I said the winner of the week last week was the Los Angeles Rams beating the shit out of the 49ers.
Yeah, you did.
And that's what happened.
I thought they were going to lose. I'm not going to lie. When it was like whatever it was, 14-7 or something like that.
They were down by 10 points. They were down by 10 points.
It felt like it just felt like the 49ers were just dominated. I don't know. For a minute there, it felt like they had no chance. And then all of a sudden they...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I knew they're losers. So it's easy for me to just watch a few quarters of them, stinking it up. Like this.
Have you always felt this way, or you feel this way this year?
Growing up in LA, it's like one of those things. Like you're either a USC or UCLA person. I was a USC person, so you hate UCLA. And growing up in LA, you hate everything San Francisco.
Oh.
You hate the Giants.
What'd you have? What team did you have?
What do you mean, growing up?
Yeah.
Football?
Yeah.
We had the Rams and Raiders.
Oh, so you went with Oakland.
What's Oakland?
I thought when you were growing up, wasn't it Oakland Raiders and like San Diego?
No, it was LA
Chargers?
Raiders.
When you were growing up, really?
Yeah. And then it flip-flopped.
What year did they go to Oakland?
Can you look that up and see what year they went? But they were the LA Raiders, then they were the Oakland Raiders, and then
I thought that was literally even before you.
I wasn't a football fan growing up. I was a college football fan, and I was obviously a Laker fan growing up. I didn't watch football probably till I got to college, to be honest with you. Like I watched Super Bowls growing up with the family. That was about the extent of it. But, obviously I got into it later in life. And just in general, like I had this like just dislike for anything San Francisco, Berkeley, growth tech companies.
Got it. The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah. The Raiders went to Oakland in 95.
Yeah. So when I was 15.
Okay. Well, that's good at least. I thought it was, that makes sense. You were still young.
Yeah.
You were really young when that happened. I thought you were going to say like, I was 22 when that happened. I thought it was way longer than that.
Yeah. But it's great. It's, the Super Bowl is in 2 weeks at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, which I was with, I'm not going to say the team, but an NFL owner this weekend. And he was telling me how like the in-game experience at SoFi is incredible. That like the energy and the way the stadium's built. Obviously, like getting in and out is still a disaster. They need to figure that out. And I assume for Super Bowl, it's going to be an even bigger disaster.
Horrendous.
And honestly, like I got invited by a few friends or I was just going to go crash the Bootsy Suite for today's game. And I opted not to go just because I didn't want to have like a 9-hour day. Like the idea of like leaving at 1:00. And I mean, there's no chance I would be home by now.
Yeah.
It's 7:30 p.m. The game ended, call it like 6:45.
Yeah.
I there's no chance I would be home.
Yeah, you're in the parking lot right now.
I'm still in the parking lot.
Yeah. You probably just got your car.
Exactly.
Is there anything they can do about that? Like, do you think eventually they'll like rework the roads around the stadium? I mean, it seems like a huge issue.
No, I think the only thing you can do eventually is build a train. And everyone just has to take the damn train. Because like when you go to Giants Stadium or any of these, like when I went to the US Open, there's like an easy train that drops you off right in front of the US Open. And I think like it has to be like some sort of transit system. The idea of cars like taking, I don't know, we'll see. I think it's going to be tough, but LA is going to be electric. We have Super Bowl weekend coming in 2 weeks. The Bengals, not, technically your hometown, but
I'll take
from your neck of the woods is the other team. And I mean, Joe Burrow's the quarterback. He's a superstar. He's just
I didn't really, I'll be honest. I just posted him on my story like I knew what I was talking about, but I couldn't have told you who the quarterback was 4 hours ago. But I didn't realize like the guy's like wearing like diamond chains and fucking like Cartier glasses.
Yeah. He's cool. He's really cool. He was the quarterback at LSU. I remember watching, he won the national championship and I think the Heisman too in college. So he's like a stud.
He's from Ohio?
I don't know where he's from actually.
I heard that.
And so he's the opposing team quarterback and they have an incredible team. It looks like they're 4-point underdogs for the Super Bowl as of right now. That could change with, whatever happens the next 2 weeks. I like him. I'm like not mad at the Bengals. Like I wouldn't be mad if Joe Burrows and the Bengals win because I just think I love seeing like these like underdog teams come and take the cake. So it's going to be pretty exciting. And I think there was a question asked in his post game. Someone asked him, "Are your diamonds real on your chain?" He's like, "I make way too much money to have fake diamonds."
Yeah, goddamn. If I lived in Ohio, if I was 17, he'd be my hero.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think everyone's gonna dress like him the next 6 months.
I think they already do. He's from Athens, Ohio.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's
not
amazing.
Far from Cincinnati.
That's legendary. I love when like an athlete is from their hometown and end up in the neighboring city to play professional sports. That just feels even more special.
Okay, so would you say you're rooting for the Bengals?
No, I'm definitely not rooting for the Bengals.
So you're rooting for the Rams?
I'm rooting for the Rams until
I want to get you on record.
Yeah.
Exactly. Until the third quarter.
I mean, I got Rams are so star-studded, and I like superstars. We have Matt Stafford, Von Miller, Odell Beckham, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Ramsey. These are like the biggest stars in the NFL.
Why did the Browns let go of OBJ?
It didn't work. He wasn't playing well.
So chemistry?
Product market fit. You got to have product market fit.
So this guy how long ago did he get traded?
I don't know, like halfway through the season. Halfway through the season, got traded. He's in the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, good for him. He was killing it today. I mean, I don't watch any other games, but
he had he crushed it today.
Yeah,
they're all out tonight too. I've already heard they're all going to be out tonight. I know where they're going. Like, if I didn't have kids, I'd be out tonight. Yeah, that's good. Well, I mean, it is best case scenario for me. Best case for me is Ohio, LA. Mm-hmm. And that's what we got. So I'm excited. And I'm much happier. I know that it's not as good, like maybe for like the football crowd, but like I'm much happier with fucking Joe Burrows with his chain on coming from Athens, Ohio than Jackson's brother. You know what I mean? That's boring. That's too he's too much of the next guy. Like, it's too obvious. I want to see Joe Burrows crying on the 50-yard line at the end of the Super Bowl because he won. I think it's great for the prices of the tickets if they're going to go down. Yeah. Because it's just LA people who are either already set to go or not. And then I'm not too worried about the Ohio people pricing me out. Interesting. So you think Ohio people can't afford to fly to LA and get nice tickets? Definitely nervous if the Niners were going to win. It was like Niners and Chiefs. It's like, oh yeah, fuck. You're out. Yeah, it's too expensive. Yeah, I'm excited. That's dream scenario. What about, have you seen the Tom Brady? Because there's a bunch of football news. So Tom Brady, I don't know, they announced he was retiring, and then he apparently said he wasn't. Yeah, and then he said undecided, or he called the manager and said whatever. But literally every account posted that Tom Brady was retiring, which then reminded me that I watched there's a full Tom Brady documentary that I didn't know about on ESPN. Oh wow! Called Man in the Arena, which is really good. It's you'll really like it because it's about every game, every season almost. He recounts it, what went right, what went wrong. But then that brought me to Peyton Manning. So Peyton Manning was a surprise guest on Saturday Night Live. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about Tom Brady. He said he would retire too. Did you see the clip? I didn't see the clip. It's unbelievable. It's basically Peyton Manning talking about Emily in Paris. And that's literally the part that Yeah, and it's literally him breaking down Emily in Paris in the form of a football play, but it's all about Emily's relationships. It's so good. And so then he's wearing had to be, he wore the little thing. Beret. So you were on cloud 9 because you are also an Emily in Paris diehard stan. I'm Emily Paris ex-football fan. So this was as right up your alley as it can get. Yeah.
Not a lot of crossover between those two.
I bet there's a lot of closet crossover.
You think so?
They're just not public crossover. I'm public.
Yeah, there might be. Yeah. I mean, maybe now.
He's out of the closet.
Yeah.
Maybe that was part of the marketing. It's hey, how do we get more of these Super Bowl closeted? Emily and SoFi. I bet you they were how do we get more of these manly men to come out of the Emily in Paris closet? I got it. Yeah. Let's have a football superstar announce that he's a fan.
Oh, so you think it's a marketing tech?
I mean, that has to be, right? I mean...
Wow, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think if he's pushing it that hard... But he said in there if he was Tom Brady, he would retire too because it would give him more time to watch Emily in Paris. Is that...
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
You know what's interesting is the last team Peyton Manning played for are the Denver Broncos, and they're up for sale. And they're looking for someone to purchase the team right now. It's reportedly going to go for $4 billion. Is
that the most ever?
Yeah. And I mean, there's not that many teams available. I was thinking about it what is the most valuable asset in America? if you're a billionaire, it has to be an NFL team. Like
The Dallas Cowboys.
It's just owning an NFL team, period, is it. Like everyone always says, there's only 10,000 Bored Ape Yacht Clubs. There's only 21 million Bitcoins. How many NFL teams? 32? I don't know. Like there's none.
Hey, you're right. I bet it's
and business is booming.
Booming. And no sign of slowing. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I was at Runyon Canyon this morning with my youngest with the stroller walking up. This is 9:30 in the morning. I couldn't believe how many people were talking about football at Runyon Canyon. Like, if you've ever been to Runyon, it's not a football crowd.
No, I thought they'd be talking about fucking... I don't know.
It's more a Jackson Mahomes crowd. Yeah.
What just dropped at Erewhon this week.
Yeah, exactly. And I could not believe it. I was like, geez, this is like the most valuable content asset in the world. Like, it's just, if one team is worth $4 billion, one team.
Yeah.
And NFL is only popular in America. It's not a global sport.
Yeah, it's nuts. The power of the NFL is really crazy. There was a time there when I thought it was going to like lose its juice, 5 years ago.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought like the CTE stuff was going to catch up. I thought, I don't know. I just thought it was going to.
And we also talked about how, because there's also like the pipeline, right? You would assume youth football would be down with all the information that we know about concussions and CTE. But I mean, after what I saw the last 2 weeks, if I'm a 12-year-old kid, I'm probably like, fuck it. This is the best thing ever.
I just watched 5 concussions happen live on TV. And how old was Joe Burrow when the movie Concussion came out? 14?
Yeah, he was old enough to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, he was just starting his league.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's just starting mom and pop football as that movie was probably in theaters. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and they showed it at school, and he's like, "Yeah, good, bro.
Like,
I'm being a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter."
Chains. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Well, big. There's probably gonna be a lot of football talk, I would guess, over the next couple weeks. But yeah, I mean, you're locked in. You made your bet. So this is good. I'm going Bengals. You go Rams.
Okay.
Great.
I like it.
Okay, we're set. What else we're going to hear a lot about this week? More earnings stuff. So we talked about Apple and Robinhood and all those people last week. We got more earnings reports this week. What are we on the lookout for?
So it's actually a really big week. You have Amazon, Facebook, and Alphabet Google. My predictions. I think Amazon is going to miss. I think they may beat the actual earnings because, it's still tailwinds from last year, but I think they're going to guide very conservatively, which will be bad for the stock. I think Facebook
miss.
I think Facebook will miss on the advertising side or guide softer on the advertising side. But I think Oculus is going to be so big.
Really?
I think the numbers for Oculus are going to be so big that they're going to show like, oh, this company might not skip a beat. I don't know. That's my prediction on that side. And I think Alphabet's up. I don't even know what they do besides search and YouTube, but I feel like they're just going to be up. It's like Microsoft. You would bet
then, if you just were watching the market, you'd bet Amazon goes down, Facebook kind of medium, Alphabet up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you think?
The Facebook kind of one, will be, I think, Oculus, which could just go, like the numbers might have been berserk.
What are you thinking about? Like headsets sold?
Yeah.
Do people actually buy those fucking things?
It was a huge Christmas item. Huge.
Really?
Yeah. Like
all I see online is people running into walls and shit.
I see people shadow boxing all over the internet in their Oculus headset.
I saw a kid shadow box his 12-year-old into the wall the other day on TikTok.
I mean, to be fair, you were beating up a 12-year-old too. And you didn't even have a headset.
I was doing it in real life. Well, maybe it's the new trend. Maybe that's why TikTok served it to me. They know what I'm into.
This guy's beating up a 12-year-old.
Oh my God. Okay, fair enough. And then Alphabet is up. What do you think, if you had to make a guess, what's the market do in the morning?
Tomorrow, I think it's up, and then all the earnings come out later in the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But I think it's going to be unpredictable, choppy, down, up, flat, basically. Like I could see us not doing anything for months. Yeah. Like you need a catalyst for the stocks to go back up. The one catalyst that I think that could change the stock market trajectory in a very positive way will be acquisitions. Because there's so many companies whose stock prices are down, these big companies, they're down off ridiculous highs, like Apple, Facebook, whatever, Google. I could see them coming into a lot of these like small, mid-sized companies and just start buying everything under the sun. And then if that happens, then I think the stock market rips, because then it's speculation on what could be the next company that gets acquired. Nobody's obviously going to acquire. What?
Well, how much do you think Ukraine is throttling the market? Like, let's say tomorrow they were like, you know what, all good. We worked it out with Vlad. We don't have to worry about this anymore. Or do you think it's not that big of a deal?
I think that affects like oil prices. I don't think that affects, the price of Amazon stock, because I don't think they're correlated. But I do think it affects oil prices, which obviously affects inflation and.
You don't think there's just like fear?
Yeah, but I think there's so many levels of fear. You have the inflation fear. You have the Ukraine fear. You have the Omicron fear. You have like some new variant I was reading about today. Like, so I think that is more of the fear. And then I think you have a softening of the spend of the consumer. So those are things that you have to like take into consideration that will, I think, have a bigger impact. I don't think any one thing is going to tip it over. I think a combination of all these things. But I think on the flip side is if these big companies just start making acquisitions, there's also a lot of activist investors that are trying to make companies spin off valuable assets, go private. I saw Citrix Systems today is getting an offer from Vista Equity, and I forgot who else was the other partner, to go private. Kohl's has activist investors. Unilever has activist investors. So all of these people are smelling blood, and they're like, oh, these companies are depressed in value. Let's go make things interesting. And I think if that happens 25 times, all of a sudden, like everything's ripping again, and we're back to the party.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Do you know anyone? What's the Omicron like talk in your world? It seems like it already blew through everyone I know, and no one talks about it anymore.
It's over. Yeah. It's over. I mean, I was out. What night was it? Friday night. I was out Thursday night and Friday night. Mm-hmm. It did not feel like Omicron was present
whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, Friday night, Delilah was like 2019.
Wow. You should see it tonight.
Tonight after this game? Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm just, who the hell knows? But it does seem like, I don't know. It seems like it literally went from everyone I know having COVID to, I haven't heard the word COVID now in the last week, other than when we talked about it on here.
Yeah. And I think, I have you been following what's happening in places like Canada and Australia? Like, so in Canada,
like the trucker protests and that type of stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I saw in Canada there's been a lot of protest just over Trudeau's like policies and lockdowns, and apparently he's been like stashed in a secret location because of safety reasons. People are basically fed up all over the world over the lockdowns and these strict policies. And I think if I'm a politician, I got to change my tune really quickly. And my tune, if I was a politician, would be, look, we've given every citizen the ability to get masks, get tested, get vaccinated. It is now your choice how to live.
Yeah.
And I think that is literally the answer, because you cannot tell people what to do anymore. It's fucking over. Unless it's in China or Russia or one of these dictatorial.
I don't feel like even they'll like something. I don't know. I just feel like those people will eventually break too.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like what you're seeing in these countries is that like everyone is just fed up. They're over it. And in America, particularly, like America's in a very sensitive spot because we're on the precipice of some sort of like slowdown in the economy. This rise in crime, midterm elections, and then you continue to just kind of hone in on like the COVID stuff. I think politicians need to back up, strategically back up off all these COVID regulations, let people live and make their own decisions, give them the tools to make the right decisions for themselves. And then they have to decide for themselves, because like the hospitals were not overcrowded. Maybe some hospitals were, but not all of them. Yeah. And so we have to do what's best for most. We can't change our policies or continue to change policies for a small group of people. It's not fair for everybody else.
But what's so weird is there is a group of people that are very vocal in this country that like even what you just said is like they would freak out at you.
In a positive or negative way?
Negative. Like that thing that happened with Barry Weiss on whatever show that was. Not Jon Stewart. What's the guy's name?
Bill Maher.
She said, I'm done with COVID, blah, blah, blah. And they like I think it was like The View and like multiple places, like maybe even CNN partly freaked out on her for having that stance, for having simply the stance of I'm done with it. Like I want to get back to normal. Like they freaked out. The View.
I don't understand why other people freak out on someone else's decision. You can still live the life you want to live. If you want to wear an N95,
that's the whole vaccine problem, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying with everything. Like what I learned from the pandemic, and I've said this on the podcast, and I say this to people in person all the time, you cannot tell people what to do.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
We don't, in this country, don't tell people what to do. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
But that's why I'm saying like the vaccine like mandate protest is a crazy one, because it's exactly that, right? Like it's people saying like, look, I get it. Thanks for the vaccines and you can recommend them, but you can't force people to get them. And there's a lot of people. It's not like alt-left people. It's like a lot of people that are really, really down for the like vaccine mandate thing.
So, but it's probably what, 50-50 at this point? Half the country is okay with the vaccine. Half the country is not.
The question is half the country. What percentage of the country is okay with vaccine mandates? The same 50? I would say if it's that, probably 40%.
You think 50% of the country? I don't give a fuck about vaccine mandates. I don't care if you don't want to get the vaccine. If you want to roll the dice, do whatever the fuck you want.
I think the majority of people that got the vaccine, the majority want everyone to get it. Want it to be mandated.
Why? I don't give a fuck if anyone gets it. I know.
I don't either.
Do you care?
Not anymore. I cared when I thought that you could potentially end COVID by everyone getting vaccinated. Then it made perfect sense. Once I realized
is Joe Burrow's vaccinated? I got to check this guy out.
For sure, right? What's the NFL's... Don't you have to or no?
I smell fake vaccine.
They don't give a shit. Yeah. They're probably checking their cards. Whatever. You signed your name on a white Post-it note.
It's funny how the same, I feel like the tables would be so turned if there was a draft right now as to who was saying like, oh, you can't tell me I have to be in the army and sacrifice or put my life on the line for this country.
Agree.
It'd be the exact, the same people would be on the opposite end, I think.
We're at a part.
But it's interesting that we can't we can't, it's like we aren't allowed to tell people that they need to get vaccinated, even though public schools, like there's loopholes, but public schools, you need to get vaccinated. It's like that doesn't make much sense to me. And, the hospital thing is real. Like I'm worried for like my dad who's at risk, but Rhode Island hospitals have been running at capacity for months. So like if anything, he's vaccinated, but if anything happens to him, there's no bed for him in the ICU, you know? Like I think that's where the concern is. That's where like we can't just say, fuck it, let everybody, we've given you the options, do what you want. It's because all the people in the hospital right now are unvaccinated. And as a result, if something happens to me, I'm not going to get a bed in the ICU.
I get that, but there's these people who are unvaccinated are never getting vaccinated. They're just not. I know plenty of people. They literally are not traveling. They don't want to go to the restaurants. They're comfortable, but being outcasts of society. Completely comfortable.
So if Cedars-Sinai said, anyone who's unvaccinated, you're not getting a bed in the ICU over somebody else who is, no matter what is wrong with them, would you?
That's Cedars-Sinai's decision.
Right?
I'm okay with that. If schools want to do that, like clearly school districts are doing that, jobs are doing that. My point is like every enterprise can make their decision however they want. And if people don't want to oblige, that's their decision. Like I'm so sick of people arguing over the same thing. You know how many people got vaccinated? Like billions of people. Nothing has happened. So I don't care at this point. Like if you don't want to get it, all good. Cool. It'll make our Coachella houses cheaper and Super Bowl cheaper. That's all it does. That's all you're doing is making our lives cheaper.
Yeah, that's a good angle. Tell that to the View. Hey,
Yeah.
View, you heard that?
Yeah, like I'm okay with it. Everything I like to do, you have to be vaccinated. So less people.
Yeah, I just don't see a world, look, whether it's right or wrong or totally logical or not, I just don't see a world where you can force everyone to get a vaccine. I think it's not in America.
Yeah, not anymore. I think the old America where we were kind of trusted our government, I think that would have happened because we did it. Like we all got vaccinated for something. We got the polio vaccine. We got so many vaccines. As soon as you're born, our kids get vaccinated for so many things. Yeah. Some people choose not to get those vaccines, even to this day. Like they choose, and they're not allowed to go to any school. They're homeschooled, and you have
that choice.
Yeah, and you have that choice, and you could do whatever you want, and you want to be ostracized from society. That's on you. Like I'm okay with that.
Speaking of this whole thing, we might as well talk about it while we're here. You want to do a Joe Rogan check-in?
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Rogan, I think I said this on the last episode, so sorry to be repetitive, but literally, like, I have not heard anyone's name more in the last 2 weeks than Joe Rogan's. It's like, it's become, he's almost like the new Trump in a sense of like, he's the new guy that you got to jump in and like have a take on. Like Trevor Noah had a take. CNN is constantly running like ban Joe Rogan. Like, I feel like it's like the thing that you have to comment on in order to be like a part of the discourse. But Spotify kicked off Neil Young because he said, him or me, and they chose Rogan. But Spotify did say that they're planning to add like an advisory, like I don't know, like a maybe not true advisory.
By the way, I mean, if you ever bought any rap music in your life, there's a parental advisory on every CD when I was
growing up. That made me want
it
more.
Yeah, I mean, it literally, I mean, I bought a t-shirt when I was a kid that said parental advisory.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It literally makes it more, like I think in the case of Joe Rogan, it only helps him.
Oh yeah, it's fucking stupid. Yeah. I just think
this is the best thing that could have happened to him is all this controversy.
Yeah, because now if you didn't listen to him, you're like, I'm curious what's this guy has to say.
Yeah.
So Neil Young, I think Joni Mitchell's talking about it. I think guitarist of Bruce Springsteen. Clearly, like boomer liberal musicians are, making their voice heard.
Yeah.
What about? I don't see the baby. I don't see the baby.
The baby has some freedom of speech issues of his own he's trying to work at. What about the royalty, though?
Like the royalty they're earning?
Harry and Meghan.
They got paid $25 million and haven't done shit.
And they're telling him, yo, you got to drop him, kind of pulling a Neil Young. And then the question's like, okay, well, what about that 25 million? And they're like, well, we're not that concerned.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm Spotify, I'd sue them because they got that money a year ago and they've done shit. You can't put out a podcast? How hard it is to put up. We put out 3 a week, Harry and Meghan.
It's true.
Anyone can put out. There's kids in their rooms jerking off doing 10 podcasts a week. And you can't do Harry and Meghan can't do one?
I don't think it's a podcast.
Do one. Literally one episode.
Yeah, I agree. But now they're speaking out and saying that they're not, cancel Joe Rogan.
Okay, then leave. All good. It doesn't matter. No one gives a shit what you do. No one gives a shit what Joe Rogan's. I don't know what that is. I think that's just from LA.
I don't either, but that's what they call it.
And by the way, no one cares what Joe Rogan thinks either. Like, only people that are pissed off at what he has to say.
It's just not that serious. I've listened to the episodes everyone's talking about. It's not that, none of it's that serious.
Why? If I'm an artist, I just don't know if this is the topic I die on. It's the same thing like, Novak Djokovic, the tennis player, could not play in the Australian Open because he wasn't vaccinated. Yeah. He's a moron. He's the biggest fucking moron. He has the chance to be the greatest. I will tell to him that he's next. Greatest tennis player ever. And he just can't go into Australia. I got deported. By the way, he can't go into France. I don't know if he's allowed in the UK for Wimbledon. So he's going to miss the French, the Wimbledon. I think the
he's
US.
Like Kyrie Irving times 10.
He's a moron. He's a fucking moron.
I'm just saying, Kyrie wouldn't play for the Vax, but he's not turning. I mean, it's not like these massive events.
Yeah. Kyrie's not playing like Nets versus whatever, the Hornets. He's missing that game.
I mean, it'd be like him making it to the playoffs, and then they were like, oh, by the way, you have to get vaxxed. And he's like, no.
Yeah. And I just think like you had this legendary career and you are a A+ shape athlete. I'm sorry. The vaccine is not going to affect you. You're going to let.
But neither is COVID. That's the problem.
What happened?
The problem is the argument, because I know a lot of athletes also that haven't been vaccinated. And the argument is COVID isn't going to hurt me either. Okay.
So, but if you can't play in your sport over a vaccine, you're just going to give up tens of millions of dollars. At the end of the day, it's the same thing with the artists leaving the platform. If you're making millions of dollars, I mean, I don't think you're proving your point. I don't think anyone cares. No one missed. We just talked about Nadal won the Australian Open. He's now the GOAT. You could have been the GOAT. Now we're not going to talk about you. And in France, you ain't going to be there because they don't let anyone that's not vaccinated in. And then you're going to miss Wimbledon. And then you're going to miss this.
Yeah.
It's just fucking stupid.
What's that one in Palm Springs? He'll be at that one.
Yeah.
The Indio fucking national. Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying, what are these people doing?
I think my problem is, I think what you're saying too is I just think we're overthinking the whole damn thing.
Yeah. If you need to get vaccinated to go play in the Australian Open, go get fucking vaccinated. Yeah. If you don't want to get vaccinated and you don't want to play in the Australian Open, that's your problem.
Yeah.
And Kanye wants to go on tour in Australia and he's not vaccinated, and now he's pushing his, thoughts on it.
Oh, I can't wait to see this. There's a good, potentially really good chunk of content that could come out if Kanye really engages in the vaccine conversation.
Oh my God. It's amazing because he has so much influence over young people. They're going to eat it up. They're going to love it.
And he'll tie it into Illuminati, whatever. I don't know. He's too good at
controlling. The machine is trying to control me.
Yeah, that's the Kanye content I want.
Yeah. I mean, I am 1 year removed exactly from my first shot.
How do you feel?
I mean, I don't know. The Rams just won. I feel fucking great.
Okay.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Maybe if you were vaccinated, your team would have gone to the Super Bowl. Yeah,
that's true. I bet you Kansas City has a real low vaccination rate.
Yeah. I guarantee it. Is Jackson Mahomes even vaccinated?
Vaxxing Mahomes? I bet he's not. Okay, so that's the news on that. I just wanted to jump into it while we were there. Back to some business stuff. What's going on? There's a lot of beef going on. It's so funny that I feel like in the last month, all of these VCs have gotten real oddly like active on Twitter.
Yeah.
And they're like beefing and talking shit. Like they were, Jack Dorsey was fighting with Mark Andreessen like a couple weeks ago about Web3. Now there's a new one happening, and I admittedly am not that like in the loop, but I want you to fill me in. It's this guy Ryan, who is the founder of Bolt.
Yep.
And he was speaking out about like the relationship between founders and VCs. And then VCs started jumping in, and that also kind of proved the point that he was making a little bit, I think. But there was this kind of back and forth, and it seems like the topic was kind of like the founder VC kind of relationship. Is that right? What happened there?
So Ryan Breslow did a whole thread. By the way, Bolt is a multi-billion-dollar company now. It is it's actually a really cool software. I remember seeing the demo when they first started. I was at some software show in Chicago, and it's basically when you're at checkout, they instantly authorize you because they have data shared from other retailers that you're a legit account and a legit email address and a legit credit card. So they process your checkout faster, so you don't get, there's less friction. That was my understanding of the product when I first saw it. Fast forward, it's been a very successful company. A lot of companies use it. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar company. This guy, Ryan Breslow, goes on this thread a few days ago, basically accusing Stripe and Y Combinator of being like mob X thugs that are preventing a lot of other founders from entering different segments of like the market because they want to control everything. And he used an example where when he launched some product, then YC's newsletter talked about it and hyped Stripe's version of it up. And then Stripe launched it and copied it. And, he went on like all these examples of how basically Stripe, which are the founders of the Collison brothers, they're like these gingers from Ireland that like
they don't look too mobbish though.
I mean, like the Peaky Blinders. They're it's very mobby out there.
Got it.
And so it's interesting to see someone's take on it because he then went on a long thread today and how Y Combinator is predatory towards founders because how much equity they take and how much actual kind of impact they have on your business. And so obviously there's been a ton of backlash against him saying he's incorrect and that's not true and it's a joke and he's a mockery. But there's also been a lot of support. There's a lot of people saying, you know what? I feel that way too. And Y Combinator didn't help me or Y Combinator didn't give me a shot. And so it's interesting because I think like the stakes are so high now. Everyone's dirty laundry is aired publicly. Like Mark Andreessen and Jack Dorsey fighting with memes. Yeah. And Mark Andreessen just blocking people for no reason. Like,
it's so crazy.
It's like,
it's so weird. And then like making the worst meme jokes.
Oh, like, I mean, they're not funny on top
high
of that.
On the gift list for.
Yeah. I mean, you guys might be smart at coding and shit, but like a joke.
You're not good at memes. You got to stop. It was really interesting. I feel like was it good? Like, I don't know. Like if you want to nerd out on some,
tech shit.
Here's the thing I like about it is I feel like where I came from and my upbringing, I felt so removed from the world of like venture capital or even entrepreneurship and stuff like that. And as silly as it might sound, like seeing these guys just argue openly and put it in meme form and stuff like that, like it makes the whole conversation, I think more entertaining.
Yeah.
For people who aren't maybe super nerds or don't know how that stuff works, or like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It kind of sparks the conversation about venture capital and how they're supposed to act and how founders are supposed to act. And I don't know, I love it. I think it's exciting.
And I think the challenge is like, unless you're in it, you are probably intimidated by it and don't know how to maneuver it. But just being around it for so long, and I see the kind of the nuances of how people make a decision on investing or how founders are treated. And it's like anything else. It's based on marketing yourself, marketing your business, hype, relationships. And in this case, this guy's point is that if you're not part of this particular clique, then there's no reason why anyone, you may get blocked out of certain things because these guys are, Y Combinator companies are some of the most successful companies. There are also tons of successful companies that have nothing to do with Y Combinator or Stripe. Tons.
Yeah.
So, I get what he's saying, but, it's, people get feeling a certain way and have chip on their shoulders when they reach a level of success and they felt like they may have been held back down by a certain group of people. I mean, that's pretty common in anything you do. Like,
that's the problem. Like that happens anywhere. That happens in any business or anyone that I've ever spoke to. The moment you have the moment
you're a rapper, someone held you back down. Like it just happens.
And like the thing of like the moment you have something that's kind of making a little bit of headway, the bigger company just copies it. I mean, that happens in every industry.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think this guy obviously has a big chip on his shoulder. He's become ultra successful, and now he's like, "Fuck you."
Well, good for him. You can take his stand now.
It's interesting to see when these guys, once they make their money, like how
who they say
vocal,
fuck you to.
Yeah, like with Jack Dorsey and Mark Andreessen and so many of these people, like they're so wealthy.
Yeah,
it's interesting that they would even engage in this and not just like go play tennis and like go on with your day.
That's how you know it really bothers them. Like whatever happened really frustrated them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I ever reached that kind of wealth, if I would engage in anything. Like maybe
you would. It's in your blood. You would be the most. Are you kidding? I'd
be more engaged on like really petty stuff.
Yes,
like,
that's what it is. That's true.
I wouldn't be engaging on like big topics. Yeah. I'd be like Jackson Mahomes type stuff.
Yeah. You go play tennis and chill for a month, and you'd be like, I got to get back to talking shit. And you'd be right back here at the Super Bowl tweeting about Jackson Mahomes. Just in a better seat. Okay, and then last but not least, speaking of Super Bowl and things like it, one of the newest signs of inflation, it would appear, this one might affect you more than any of the others, ticket prices. Some are up, as much as double for all the hot events. So I don't know, man. I mean, I know you're a big event guy. You might be my biggest male event friend.
Male event guy.
Yeah. I'm sure I probably know some ladies that love to go to like concerts and stuff, but you're a big event guy. You'll go to the Drake show when it's there. You'll be at Hollywood Bowl a couple times a season.
That should be our title for the episode, Male Event Guy.
Big male
event. Going to a lot of male events.
Shockingly, the events I go to, there are a lot of males.
Yeah, that's true.
I go to rap concerts, and football games are filled with males.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So bad news. I mean, this isn't good for you.
Gas prices alone are up 58% over the past year. Obviously, that is one kind of marker. In 2019, it would set you back $96 on average to see a concert, and an NBA game is looking like $94 an average game, and an NFL game is looking like $151 to go. So you're starting to see like significant increase in the price of a lot of these things. On the secondary market, the prices are even higher. And the problem with the secondary market, if you ever bought a ticket off StubHub, you see a price, then they add their fee, then they add shipping or whatever. And so you end up paying 20, 30% even more. It's very similar to when you buy off any of these marketplaces. Yeah. So you're seeing like a pretty, even museums, the museum of like, for example, Modern Art Museum of Fort Worth and Crocker Art Museum in Sacramento raised ticket prices by 50%.
I don't understand that one. So I understand like if you're on a tour and you could say like, gas prices and all these different things add to the cost of the tour, but what is adding to the cost of an art museum that is making tickets go up?
So my guess is they didn't make money the year before. They have to pay a higher wage to staff the museum.
Yeah.
So
COVID
now,
protocols.
yeah, COVID protocols, less staff, all of those things. You got to pay more. There's wage inflation, right? So you got to pay people more. So, like, give you an example. I've never heard of this place, the Funland Amusement Park in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Sounds
now costs
terrible.
$30, up from $15 a few years ago. That's a pretty big difference.
That
You're
place
heading out
sounds
to
like a
Rehoboth
nightmare.
to go to the amusement park.
Funland.
Yeah, to go to Funland. You're thinking you got $20 in your pocket. You're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to hit Funland. Boom. You're
You're
short
not.
10, buddy.
Think again, bitch.
It's
Funland.
Sadland
Oh my
for you.
God. 50. Whoa, Funland is not so fun.
Did you see a picture of it?
I'm looking at it. It's like, oh man, sorry for all of our Delawareans. Funland. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a little square, let's say.
It's a land with fun in it.
It's like 100-yard by 100-yard square that looks like old rides from like the OC Fair. That like they sell them off to Funland after they get their use. Oh my God! One of the pictures. I wish you were. There's a picture of like a 90-year-old guy just having the time of his life on a merry-go-round.
Oh my God.
Oh, Funland.
I mean,
okay,
if you
so
even
$30.
the best example is Super Bowl. So I've been going to Super Bowl for, I think, since 2009. So it's 12, 13 years.
Uh-huh.
And the first Super Bowl I ever went to, I believe I got tickets. I think I got tickets from a friend, and they were way less than $1,000.
Yeah.
And then the year after that, I think I went with Anand, and we paid like $600 a ticket. And
Similar seating though?
Pardon?
Like similar seating every year?
Yeah, we were in the lower bowl, and I think we were in the end zone, but lower bowl. But like we paid only like $600, and we were in the stadium.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is this year, the tailgate is $900. The tailgate. The worst seat in the house right now on StubHub is going for $6,000. The worst.
Wow. Is that LA? Like, is that because LA?
Yeah, and from what I've noticed is, so typically so every player in the NFL gets 2 tickets. And so if I needed to get tickets, I would literally hit up either players I know or agents and buy them from them.
Yeah.
And then I have other friends who are able to buy tickets at cost. But even at cost, at the lower bowl, like a good seat, the cost is $6,000-$7,000 a seat. And they're going for crazy. I remember last year or 2 years ago, someone gave us insane seats, and we could have got 15, 20 grand for each seat.
Yeah.
Each seat.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like right now, yeah, I don't know.
It's an expensive time for male event friends.
Yeah, I mean, male event friends. If you're a male trying to hit an event.
Do you see Funland? I just sent you a picture of Funland.
Okay.
That's the actual Funland.
Oh my God. Are you joking?
No, that's actually Funland. I'm not kidding. $30. $30 is all yours. Oh my God.
I mean, you can either go to the Super Bowl or go to the Funland 250 times.
I might go Funland. Literally, you can go almost every day of the year.
Yeah. You can go every day of the year to Funland or Super Bowl once.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, it's going to be an expensive year. I don't know. I mean, I like Anand's theory of how inflation goes away in a quarter or so. Maybe that happens.
I don't know. I mean, I think the problem that you can't, it's not a problem, but people are just getting paid more money. So businesses need to charge more for either their service, their product, and that's going to be pretty hard to go back from. I think.
There's also just too many rich people.
I think the car stuff goes away by the end of this year. I honestly don't think we're paying the same for cars in 9 months. I think that actually corrects. And I think gas prices go down.
I think there's too many rich people, and that's why they're messing up Coachella and they're messing up the Super Bowl, because all these freaking guys selling Bored Apes got rich. I saw a thing the other day. I'm kidding, but I saw a thing the other day that the floor price, I'm going to butcher this, but like the floor price for Bored Apes just reached like 100 ETH or something. Like the cheapest Bored Ape is 300 grand.
What I just looked just now, 115 is the cheapest ape.
That's insane.
ETH. That means, what is
insane.
ETH at right now? Let's see. ETH is at 2,500. 115 times 2,500. $287,000.
There you go. Every Bored Ape owner has a house at Coachella. That's why we can't get one.
For a weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, that's really serious. I know there's a lot of bullshit NFT things, but that's pretty serious.
NFTs have really held. I mean, they've all gone up with all the cryptocurrencies down. NFTs have gone up. It feels like,
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's a great time to set sail on your NFTs.
Like sell them, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would seem like it, but I don't know. I mean, I think there's also just so many bullshit ones. Like I think so many people got kind of screwed on if you can't afford a Bored Ape, there's all these crazy different new projects every week, and most of them are just garbage.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I saw, I don't know how much Justin Bieber bought one for over $1 million today.
Sheesh. Okay. Well, how's your NFT doing? You still got it?
The NFT I did get, I got that Nas one.
Oh, well, that's legit. I thought you had a $500 one that was just tanking.
Yeah, that's worth $0.
You still have it?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I mean, it costs so much to leave your fucking wallet. The one that I spent $1,000 on, I think is worth literally $50.
What cost to leave your wallet?
The gas fees, if I were to let's say,
get it out.
Yeah, let's say it's hey Tim, I want to give you a going away gift. I want to give you this shitty NFT as a going away gift. It's going to cost me $200 to give it to him.
That's amazing. To give him a $50 gift. Incredible. Okay. Well, we did it.
We did it.
There you have it. Yeah. Everyone have a great
Our
week.
NFT will give you access to male event clubs.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Male event clubs. That's actually the worst marketing in town. You know what I mean? No one wants to be invited.
No one wants to go to a male event club.
Well, maybe.
I don't even think dudes that like males want to be in a male event club.
No, they don't. They don't.
True.
Okay, everyone have a great week. We will be back on Tuesday, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.